Tonight, the sudden death of Friends star Matthew Perry, what we're learning about how he died, and the new statement from his family just in. The actor found dead in his home after apparently drowning. New details on his final hours, what we're learning about the 911 call, and the investigation now into how he died. Plus, his legacy of laughter, some of his co-stars paying tribute to his massive talent.
She's on the other line. She's going to call me back. She's on the other line, going to call me back.
And his brutal honesty about his struggles with substance abuse. Also breaking, Israel's prime minister says ground operations into Gaza are expanding, along with devastating airstrikes. Our first look at the destruction inside Gaza since this new phase of the war began, as thousands of Palestinians break into a UN relief center searching for food. Halloween party shooting, people in costumes fleeing for their lives in Tampa. 2 killed, 16 injured. Striking auto workers reaching a tentative deal with another of the big 3 automakers. Are the strikes coming to an end? And with 2 days till Halloween, we take you inside the business of Spirit Halloween. How do they go from 0 stores to 1,500 every single October?
This is NBC Nightly News with Kate Snow.
Good evening. Generations of Americans are feeling the loss of Matthew Perry as the sarcastic, witty character Chandler Bing on the gigantic hit Friends. He entertained young people and their parents in the 90s and the early 2000s. And then, as the comedy series lived on in the streaming world, teens and young people discovered it. Matthew Perry was, of course, much more than just that one character. He spoke openly about his dependence on drugs and alcohol and his fight for sobriety because he wanted to inspire others to seek recovery. Perry's family telling People magazine, "We are heartbroken by the tragic loss of our beloved son and brother," as we learn more tonight about just how he passed at 54 years old. Here's Chloe Malas.
Tonight, new details surrounding the death of beloved actor Matthew Perry. The star found unresponsive in a jacuzzi at his Los Angeles home Saturday from an apparent drowning, according to the LAPD.
Respond to the drowning.
NBC News learning that authorities received a 911 call just after 4 p.m. on Saturday about a water emergency at a California residence. Law enforcement sources telling NBC News there was no apparent foul play, pending a further investigation. The 54-year-old posting this photo in the water just days ago. Today, Perry's family telling People, "Matthew brought so much joy to the world, both as an actor and a friend." Perry, born in Williamstown, Massachusetts, was raised in Canada before moving to Los Angeles as a teen. It was there he discovered his love of comedy, joining an improv group. At the age of 24, he would land the gig of a lifetime as Chandler Bing on the hit NBC sitcom Friends. He would star in the show for all 10 seasons.
I left a message. I have some pride.
Do you?
No.
And later in a string of hit films like The Whole Nine Yards, Fools Rush In, and the romantic comedy 17 Again.
You have really great hair.
Oh, thanks. I grow it myself.
Despite his ability to light up a screen, off-screen there was darkness. Perry opening up about his decades-long battle with drugs and alcohol in his 2022 memoir. The actor said he went to rehab 15 times and detoxed 65 times.
But I would sometimes say a line and they wouldn't laugh, and I would sweat and just like go into convulsions if I didn't get the laugh I was supposed to get.
Today, an outpouring of support from California to New York at the famous Friends building exterior used in the show. His on-screen mother, Morgan Fairchild, writing, "The loss of such a brilliant young actor is a shock." The Friends Instagram account calling Perry a true gift. "Our heart goes out to his family, loved ones, and all of his fans."
And Chloe's with me here. What's next in the investigation?
So just a few moments ago, the medical examiner's office has updated the autopsy report for Matthew Perry to deferred, meaning that they need to do more testing, including the toxicology report, which could take about 6 to 12 weeks until we finally know the cause of death. But NBC News has learned that no foul play is suspected to be involved.
Okay, but not conclusive yet.
Not
how
conclusive
he died.
yet. No.
Chloe, thank you. Long after Friends signed off the air, Matthew Perry made headlines again with his memoir last year, revealing the depths of his crippling addiction to drugs and alcohol. His brutal and heartbreaking honesty, giving people a sense of his life beyond fame and offering hope to many. Here's Dana Griffin.
Hi. My name is Matthew, although you may know me by another name. My friends call me Maddie, and I should be dead.
Honest words from Matthew Perry's 2022 memoir, Friends, Lovers, and the Big Terrible Thing, where he takes us behind the scenes of his lifelong struggle with substance abuse, delivering a powerful message of hope and resilience.
I never raised my hands and said, "That's enough. I can't take it anymore. You win." And because of that, I stand tall now, ready for whatever comes next.
Perry was just 24 when he nabbed the role of Chandler Bing.
Papers! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
He says substance abuse issues, which began at 14, escalated with his sudden fame. At one point, he was up to 55 pain pills a day, his weight seesawing from 225 pounds to 128.
I didn't watch the show and haven't watched the show because I could go drinking, opiates, drinking, cocaine. Like I could tell season by season by how I looked.
Perry later reflecting on the pressures of fame in a 2021 cast reunion.
I felt like I was going to die if they didn't laugh. And it's not healthy, for sure.
He credits the show and his friends' family with helping him make it through. In his own words, he hoped to be remembered most by what he did for others.
The best thing about me, bar none, is if somebody comes up to me and says, "I can't stop drinking, can you help me?" I can say yes and follow up and do it. When I die, I don't want friends to be the first thing that's mentioned. I want that to be the first thing that's mentioned. And I'm going to live the rest of my life proving that.
Dana Griffin, NBC News, Los Angeles.
Now to our other major story tonight and our first look inside Gaza since Israel expanded ground operations in the territory and unleashed its biggest aerial assault yet. Richard Engel reports from the Israel-Gaza border.
Israel is intensifying its offensive to destroy Hamas and remove it from power in Gaza. From just outside Gaza, we could see the massive explosions from Israeli airstrikes. Israel says it's using weapons powerful enough to collapse Hamas tunnels. We saw deep, penetrating bombs. Watch how much earth this one throws in the air. In the daylight, we could see the ruined skyline of northern Gaza. Israel is razing parts of Gaza to the ground, and more tanks and armored vehicles are moving in, along with armored bulldozers needed to clear paths in the destruction. We could also see what we can usually only hear, the constant presence of Israeli drones. Internet services knocked offline by Israel Friday have been partially restored by the Palestinian telecom company, so our crew could show us life inside Gaza City. It's becoming a wasteland. The humming you hear are those drones. Gazans call them mosquitoes. Israel says the operation is payback for Hamas's killing 1,400 Israelis and taking, by the latest count, 230 hostages. Gazans are getting desperate. The UN said its warehouses were broken into, people taking food and basic necessities. The staff at the Al-Quds hospital in Gaza City say the Israeli military is threatening to bomb it. Israel accuses Hamas of using hospitals as military headquarters, contrary to international laws of war. The Palestinian Red Crescent, an independent aid agency, shared with us this video tonight and says there are 12,000 people inside the Al-Quds hospital. Israel says Hamas uses them as human shields. The Red Crescent says it must stay open to continue providing services for hundreds of thousands of people in northern Gaza. The Israeli military today laid out its 3 military objectives: to disarm Hamas, to destroy them politically, and free the hostages. And say the campaign could take years or end tonight if Hamas drops its weapons and releases the hostages. There's no sign of that coming.
And back now with Richard. Richard, there's a new threat prompting renewed concerns that the war could expand to other parts.
Yeah, this was a threat from the president of Iran, an ominous warning. He said that Israel had crossed a red line and that it may cause everyone to take action. A suggestion, it seems, that Iran's proxies across the region could be mobilized, but haven't yet. Kate?
Richard Engel for us. Richard, thank you. Back here in the U.S., a shocking string of deadly shootings at Halloween gatherings this weekend. The terror in a Tampa neighborhood caught on camera as people ran for their lives. Guad Venegas has details and a warning. Some of the video is disturbing.
Tonight, video capturing the moment gunfire erupted in Tampa. The horrifying sound of gunshots sending people running for their lives.
There are multiple patients shot all the way down the block.
Moments later, victims in bloody Halloween costumes receiving help from first responders. In all, 2 people were killed, 16 others injured. Authorities say despite heavy police presence in the area, the shooting started after a fight broke out.
People aren't hesitating to pull out guns and shoot, and not only kill innocent individuals, but hurt bystanders as well.
One of the 2 killed was Emmett Wilson's 14-year-old son.
It's not the first time I done lost a child. 2014, I lost my child. Now here it is, 2023, and my baby boy, he's gone now from gun violence.
Police announcing today, 22-year-old Tyrell Stephen Phillips has been arrested and charged with second-degree murder. Gun violence erupting at Halloween parties in other cities as well this weekend. In Texarkana, Texas, 3 people were killed and 3 others injured. In Indianapolis, 1 person killed and 10 others injured. And in Chicago, 15 people shot at a Halloween house party. Tragedies overshadowing celebrations for one of America's favorite holidays. Guad Venegas, NBC News.
Still ahead tonight, alarming new details about the mass shooting in Maine last week and the alert about the shooter weeks before it happened. The field of Republicans running for president is getting smaller. Former Vice President Mike Pence suspended his campaign for the GOP presidential nomination yesterday. He's been struggling to gain traction in the polls and to raise money. Pence told supporters yesterday he always knew the campaign would be an uphill battle, but said he has no regrets. And there's a major development this weekend toward ending the 6-week auto workers strike. One of the big 3 automakers, Stellantis, reached a tentative agreement with the union on Saturday. That follows a similar tentative deal struck with Ford earlier last week. GM is now the only one not to reach a deal with workers on strike. There are troubling new details tonight about the man accused of killing 18 people in Maine last week. We're now learning there was a statewide alert for him weeks before the shooting. Kathy Park reports.
Tonight, growing questions about the mental health of mass shooting suspect Robert Card. Law enforcement officials telling the AP that they sent out an alert last month to be on the lookout for Card after he made threats to shoot up an Army Reserve base in Maine, adding they couldn't locate him after stepped-up patrols.
He did obtain some mental health treatment, but I'm not sure to what extent.
Was he ever under your department's radar?
That I'm not aware of. We had very few contacts.
Now we're learning that the suspect tried purchasing a silencer months before the attack, matching the same caliber bullets used in the massacre.
That's a .308. That's what Mr. Card used when he was going through and shooting everybody. The military used a .308 as a sniper rifle. So you would hunt moose, bear, big game, you would use a .308 for.
Gun shop owner Rick LaChapelle describes making a chilling connection as he looked through his records. He says the distributor sent the silencer to the store, and Card's approved application was transferred over by the federal government. The last layer of verification was this ATF form. He was never given the silencer, but his guns weren't taken away, because under Maine law, that would only happen if he was forcibly committed for mental health treatment.
What would have happened if he had access to that silencer?
Well, that's the scary part.
After days on edge, Maine's second largest city is taking steps toward healing. But Breslin McNear is still haunted by stepping away for a meeting, leaving his father at Schmenge's Bar and Grill Wednesday night.
What was the last memory you have of your dad?
Him smiling. Me asking if he was all right. Telling him I'd be right back.
The tragedy also striking Rob Young, who lost 2 members of his family in one night. His brother Bill and his 14-year-old nephew, Aaron.
I called my dad or texted my dad, hey, Spare Time's getting shot up. And he says, I know, Bill and Aaron are there.
And the trauma for survivors like Jennifer Zanka is still raw. She now bears the scars from that night as a gunman's bullet tore through her arm.
What brings me back to that moment? It could be a noise, or it could be just someone's talking to me, and all of a sudden it just comes. The picture of that guy.
Kathy, the pain is so real. I know you're joining us from Lewiston. There's a vigil there tonight. It's got to be emotional.
Kate, extremely emotional. This is the first public vigil for the town of Lewiston. So many people wanted to be in attendance. They created an overflow space outside. One speaker saying tonight that the love of this community cannot be gunned down. Kate.
Kathy Park Forrest. Kathy, thank you. Up next, we take a turn. We take you behind the scenes at Spirit Halloween, how they go from 0 stores to 1,500 every October. Well, with Halloween just a couple of days away, you may have noticed one of those giant Spirit Halloween stores in your neighborhood. We did, and it got us to wondering, how do they get them up and running so quickly every October? Our Brian Chung got a behind-the-scenes look.
Whether you're looking for ghosts or ghouls or anything of the like, this iconic store is once again rising like a zombie to get us all in the Halloween spirit. More specifically, the Spirit Halloween. CEO Steven Silverstein gave us a behind-the-scenes look at one of the most unique business models in all of retail.
Really, we start from 0 every year.
That's going from 0 stores to this year, 1,500 stores, more than Macy's or Best Buy, in a matter of months. Step 1, find a host, an empty storefront free for just a short period of time.
We have people flying all over the country. We have people stationed all over the country. We have a whole network of brokers.
Spirit Halloween has draped its banner over former gyms and clothing stores and Bed Bath & Beyonds. Leases are locked in as early as the spring and as late as the first week of October. While a regular retail store will take months or longer to open, Spirit Halloween stores go from empty to ready to open in less than 2 weeks. Next, they staff up.
We build on a foundation of a nucleus of people that are year-round, 24/7, 365 Halloween.
So your total comes to $26.31.
Hiring some 40,000 temporary employees this season. And finally, they have to fill those shelves, often having to predict months in advance what the hot costumes will be.
We've been doing this for 40 years. It adds experience, a little intuition, and a lot of data analysis.
This year's big sellers, Barbie and Ken, Wednesday Addams, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Silverstein acknowledges the store's pop-up popularity has become a pop culture sensation.
So scary!
We have become that meme. We've become that place where if it was vacant for any period of time, we're swooping in.
The studio was empty for so long, NBC converted to a Spirit Halloween. And that's just that.
For Spirit Halloween superfans, though, it's no joke.
Every day we pick him up from school, he has to come. So we just came for one of our
Every day he has to come here.
Every day.
For others, though, it's not even about spending. It's just getting in the spirit.
Hey, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Brian Chung, NBC News, Egg Harbor, New Jersey.
And a quick note, my latest edition of The Drink is with Gailey Alex, the design influencer who reimagines the homes of strangers. Gailey's journey is about what happens when life does not go as you planned. It's raw, honest, and powerful. You can find it at NBCnews.com/thedrink or on our NBC News Nightly News podcast. I'm Kate Snow. For all of us here at NBC News, stay safe. Have a great night.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.